down.
I just need it for.
I'll allow it. So I was at Gitco this morning. I was at self checkout. I accidentally scanned my Arizona green tea twice, and I asked the lady at self checkout. I was like, "Hey, sorry to bother you, but I accidentally scanned this twice. I need to take it off." This lady, deadpan, probably mid to late 50s, deadpan, just looks at me and says, "Well, sucks to be you."
What time was this? Like
Um,
8:30.
like 9 o'clock.
Wonder if she just started a shift or she was on the back end of her shift and was just done with stupid people.
I don't know, but the person at the register next to me doing self checkout just started laughing.
They really should. I've noticed this at like Target self checkout and Giant Eagle self checkout. You should. All right, if you are, I like self checkout because you don't have
I
to
don't want
interact.
to do
No,
self
no, no.
checkout. I don't want to have to do your job for
No,
you.
I don't mind self checkout. I can get in and out of that store without talking to anyone.
Yes.
But I think as the technically the associate, because I am scanning all the stuff out and bagging, you should have some sort of manual overrides of the stuff you scan. You shouldn't have, every time there's a misscan, you have to like bring someone over, and it just like makes the whole thing. If they're especially like Giant Eagle, like I'll go there after work. It's like 6:30. It's packed. Like the self checkout area, there's 10 things, and they're all being used. And there's someone always having to help someone, and ends up just adding all this time, and then that worker is still doing stuff anyway. So kind of defeats the purpose of the self checkout.
Well, then don't be a problem,
Sometimes those are pretty quick scans.
as I found out this morning.
It can be pretty quick. It's not the same technology we use at Sports Car Junction.
Beep,
Yeah, it's
beep, beep.
um. All right, guys. This is going to be the national episode.
Yes.
Me and Nate discussed that if we do it next week, there's not enough time to properly marinate the conversation before you would be leaving for the show.
And remember, you can't spell marinate without Nate.
That is true.
I'm going to
Congratulations.
start my own
Um,
line of marinades.
and also remember, it's the national, not nationals.
Nationals.
National Sports Collectors Convention, NSCC. It is not TNSCC. It is not the Nationals. It is National. It seems small. It is such a big pet peeve of mine.
It's it's one of those things that is so minute, but it drives me absolutely batshit crazy.
And I think it comes down to like we talk about these conversations where like in the store, it's kind of another pet peeve of mine and Nate's where people are like, oh wow, you can have like a career doing this, huh? And it's like, yeah, man, like that's, and I think the nationals thing is in the same category of like it just like tones down the seriousness of this being like a real thing.
Yeah.
It's like it's like jokey.
Yeah.
Nationals just sounds like it's kind of like a jokey little free spirit like.
Yeah, like okay, the National is just all right. It's our yearly family trip to Great Wolf Lodge.
Yeah, I it is so small, but like I have been in this business my entire life. I've done 20 nationals. See, it is
Oh,
no
I
20
know,
nationals,
I
so
know.
it's plural of the national. Um, it, I don't know. It's just one of those little things that bugs me. It's always going to bug me, and people are always going to get it wrong. But we are not alone in this either. A lot of the people who are like longtime dealers are also like they channel the same thing of like, hey
Oh,
guys, remember it's the national.
like my brain goes into um, the scene from the other guys where he's like, "It's Christineth,
Oh my
not
god,
Christina. Are you stupid or are you deaf?"
I love it so much. That's like that dude has so many good roles, but like that. Obviously, this is not about the national, but that scene, I want the outtakes
Oh
so
yeah,
bad. I bet you at a certain point they may have had him just do his part with no one else in the room. Like he's because it's
maybe.
just hit cameras on him and some of it. But yeah, this is the national episode. We are going to cover top to bottom, start to finish, things that we have learned over the years and that we have observed on our own. So I would say the first things we should just start from beginning to end. Um, Prior to you leaving, and we can even start to like people. I see these comments on. I can open with the one thing I was going to talk about is there is a Facebook group that is dedicated to all information for the national. I'm going to bring it up now, but if you are on Facebook, it might be
Although it's
smart,
Facebook, not the Facebooks.
not the Facebooks. Um,
That group does have a lot of good information in it. Um, like Chad was saying as he
I'm trying to think.
searches on
Yeah,
his phone.
Nate can take a second here.
But um, yeah, if you have questions, ask. There are plenty of people out there that are like Chad, that are like me, that are like other dealers, that are even like other people who like. There's people who are not dealers that go every single year. So there's a lot of knowledge out there. Just ask the questions. I mean, yes, on occasion there is such a thing as stupid questions, but
There.
just being inquisitive is not.
So it is. If you're searching it, it's titled 2026 National Sports Collectors Convention Buzz, BUZZ. They change the name every year. It's run by a buddy of mine, Colton, who owns Card Sharks. He's big on eBay and he does like a ton of shows around the country. But every year he changes the name just so that it makes sense. But this is going to be a good source if you have specific questions that might not be like the general type things that we're going to cover. It is. I wouldn't go in asking like really common questions that we're going to cover today, but if you have something more specific, like, all right, guys, I collect something very obscure. Does anyone have any knowledge, or are there any? There's a lot of dealers in this group. That's another thing too. So you could be like, I collect specifically women's soccer. Is anyone in here selling women's soccer? Nate used to be, he's not interested in it, but he used to be even more so Japanese baseball, which there is a specific dealer at the show does Japanese baseball.
Japanese baseball, just Japanese sports cards in
Yeah.
general, like a bunch of old stuff from like the 50s up to current.
So, like I said, and before we get into it, that is a very good source. There are a lot of professional dealers in there. There are actually people in that group who are part of the national organization.
The
Our,
Illuminati.
our good friend Megan, she is on like the dealer support side of things. Her and I think her father-in-law is in there, who's actually a vendor. He was one of the initial group that started the show.
Do you think cartels have dealer support too? Like for their drug dealers?
Probably, yeah, I would assume so. They're probably a little more aggressive, but yeah. But yeah, her father-in-law was on the initial team with a lot of people don't know this. Nate Burkus's dad started the show. He was in the original group. Do you know who Nate Burkus is?
Yes,
He,
he it's like one of those home renovation
he's
things.
like a
What's
home.
wasn't he like Oprah's guy?
Yes, he's a home decor expert who
Yeah.
has his own line through Target and all that stuff. His dad was on the initial group of people 41 or 42 years ago, whatever it is now, that started the show. Um, it used to be much smaller. Obviously, they've innovated, and anyone I see people online all the time that are like, it's not worth the money. Every dealer's overpriced. You're not going to be able to buy anything. Guys, if that was true, the show would not be growing every year, and dealers would not be literally fighting to get into it.
Yeah.
It is a frenzy. The wait list is on it. It's got to be thousands of names deep. If that was true, dealers would not be selling stuff. If it is so, people are so closed-minded to think that their one experience is how all things are run. Just like how in like sports card nonsense, people will say all LCSs are all thieves. It's like no, maybe yours sucks. I'm sorry, but there are hundreds of good ones in the country. Like it's not so. Out of the thousands of people who will be at this show vending, statistically, most of them are going to be selling a lot of cards. There is the occasional guy who is running a museum. I get it.
Yeah.
But most people, you're not like when you go to like a local show. I mean, the National is not one of these shows where you'll see guys have like star cards in mags for $10. Like that is not what's happening. That's more
Mm,
of like, there might be.
last year, I did see a booth that was like they had a $5 box where it was all 10-cent cards in mags,
Yeah, like okay, and that guy deserves to not sell any of those cards and not make money and then not come back. But
and then we burn his booth to the
yeah,
ground.
but like also guys, it's real easy just to walk past a booth. Like if you see something and you're like you let's say you in your head you spot check 5 or 6 cards and they're all like way off, just move on. There's hundreds of other people to go to. There are hundreds of other people who are good too. The other thing I will say on the starting, like the before you would go, I am not the biggest fan of some of the real reasons why the app is used, but the Ludex app is an official partner of the National, and I believe the Ludex app also will be having the interactive map,
Yeah, it's like a full layout interactive
which
map.
it's also on the National's website, but I'm pretty sure the mobile friendly version is on Ludex's app. Um, I have a note to talk about this. I used it last night. You can go in and search by booth number, or you can just click around on all the booths and it will give a brief synopsis of what they're selling. Like I wanted to update ours because all ours said was modern and vintage sports cards, and I'm trying to add in non-sport as well for Pokemon.
Yeah.
But like if you are looking for um, like I said, if you are looking for something in particular, and you do want to kind of map out your game plan prior to, you can literally go and click on every single booth in the place and be like, okay, I
Yeah.
can avoid this entire section of the show because it's all listed as
Vintage.
vintage or auction houses or memorabilia. Understanding people may not update some of that stuff. World's ever changing in the card world, so I know like I would say half ish of our booth will be, a third will be vintage, raw and graded. Um, Not quite a third will be Pokemon this year. Probably like,
A quarter.
yeah, like, and then the other 60% or whatever of our booth will be modern cards. And we will be touching every category on modern. We'll have baseball, football, basketball, hockey, wrestling, and then we will have like a miscellaneous case that has. Actually, no, we're gonna have a full soccer case this year.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
that's what I was gonna ask. If we're gonna have like full soccer or just miscellaneous, toss that in with
yeah,
the oddball.
and then we'll have a weird case that's like hypothetically we have some tennis cards, some pop century,
Yeah,
presidential cards, all that kind of stuff.
miscellaneous.
It will also probably be our least important case. So, like, if we're running low on space, that's the first one that gets cut until we sell other stuff. Um, we are going to have a. I'm not going to say a full. We are going to have a presence of boxes, bargain boxes. To what volume is determined based off of what I can get done in the next two
Are we
weeks.
doing everything, or is that just gonna be wrestling?
So we specifically like cheap stuff will be wrestling, but we may end up having like a sub $20 box for other sports like magged patch autos, graded stuff. Just like if I'm doing the prep work and I think they're cards that will sell, we'll have them there, and we're not going to dedicate case space until we're empty. And then we will have some raw vintage bargain boxes too. So our bargain boxes will be staggered around our booth. They will not all be in the same section. They will be like, okay, we have 4 cases of vintage graded cards. We'll have the raw ones in between the cases or something.
Yeah.
But we'll talk more about that kind of stuff in a bit. We talked last week about footwear,
Yes.
clothing, and technology.
Comfort in general.
We'll circle back to that once again. If you have not gotten or don't have your comfortable shoes, that kind of stuff, knowing what you're going to wear. Like I said, I highly suggest shorts and a t-shirt, especially if you're wearing a backpack or something. I mean that gets hot. The room gets hot. I've seen people in previous years have like those like portable fans and stuff. Like especially if you're
Yeah.
like a bigger dude who sweats, you might want it. I
or
think
or older. There's We had that guy a couple
Oh my
years
god,
ago.
that was so scary.
There's an older gentleman that was like at a booth like catty
It's
corner
the
to
Cleveland
us.
National.
Yeah. And we just hear this loud bang and we see a bunch of people go over. Well, this guy hadn't eaten anything, hadn't drank anything all day, and he went from standing upright, just tipped right backwards,
Mm-hmm.
passed out, smacked his head on the concrete floor. I can still hear the
Oh, dude, it
sound in
was,
my
and
head.
this was a healthy gentleman. I mean, he was like, looked to be maybe late 60s, early 70s, but like he was fit. He wasn't like an elderly old. Like he was a
Yeah.
very with the guy.
We wouldn't bring up the word decrepit.
No, and we had later learned the National actually saved his life because he lives alone, and if he hadn't been at the show, he would have been alone in his house or apartment or whatever he was and wouldn't have got that attention. Ryan, who, if you're listening, Ryan, welcome to the podcast.
Friend of the channel.
Friend of the channel, our aka Sports Car Junction Security at the National. He he was quick to respond. He helped stabilize the gentleman's head, and he. If you've never met Ryan, if you come to our national booth, you have to meet Ryan. He is a amazing guy and a very interesting guy.
Interesting individual.
Yeah, and he's very loud and animated, and he like took control of the situation and was like, "Listen, you're calling 911. You go get this. Get me a towel," because the guy had some head bleeding and stuff. And he like immediately. He's like a multi-degree black belt and also coaches and runs these tournaments and stuff. So I think he's used to like help. Like people get knocked out all the time, and
Yeah.
it's like he's used to like stabilization and like controlling this. He works for the Homeland Security, so he is very good at assessing situations. So honestly, he probably helped that guy too because he
Yeah.
got like that guy's neck stabilized. Crazy. The guy was literally looking at cards and fell straight back. Imagine doing a trust fall, which you're not voluntarily doing it. His body was stiff at that point, so he did not like his knees did not buckle into like a soft landing. He
Yeah. No,
fell
like he fell
on his
back like a
head.
bowling pin.
On his head. Incredibly scary situation. The funniest thing too is like this is where like I wish that there were like no consequences for just like being an asshole at times because like there were still people who were like it happened on the short side of our booth,
Yeah.
and there was people trying to like wedge their way in to look at our cards, and I wanted to be like, hey guys, a fucking dude is dying over there. Can you fuck off? Like get away, man. Like this is insane. But I can't do that because that is not
Or
publicly.
or you could be to the people that were in the way. Or are you talking about the people that are in the
I'm
way?
talking about
Or the
no.
person trying to see our cards?
Yeah, like trying to see our cards.
My brain went to telling the crowd off, like, "Hey guys, if you're standing around here, you're not contributing to
Some
helping this, so get out of the way."
some I think was initial shock where people didn't know what was going on, and then people did start to form like a little barrier, like, "Hey guys, don't go down this aisle, please, until this situation." Also, it took a long ass time for an ambulance to get there,
Yeah.
which I know for a fact during the show at Chicago, there are multiple parked
Ambuli?
out front. And I think there even were in Cleveland, and they took like 15 minutes to get in there.
It was
And,
longer than
maybe
that.
25.
I want to say it was at least half an hour.
way too long. A show that large, I don't critique the National very much. I really don't. I think they do a great job. They should have at any point in that entire show floor. It's a big show floor. I get it. It should be no more than a couple minutes for if there is a medical emergency and it is a single emergency and there's not multiple at the same time. Within 2 minutes, they should be able to get there on a cart.
Yeah.
Like, don't just get it done. Because it's like I said, you can't. People always blame the AC and all this other stuff. You can't counteract 50,000 human bodies in a room. It's going
Yeah.
to get hot. It's
Especially
gonna happen.
when a good chunk of those bodies are
Double
large.
bodies.
Large.
But yeah, so that this kind of brings up a point of that gentleman probably was not hydrated. He probably hadn't eaten. So one of my little tips is I always, even if you have like a little Zion case, I always suggest having a backpack of some nature. Um, that's where you can have, a couple granola bars,
Water,
crackers, all that,
Gatorade.
yeah, that kind of stuff. If you use like liquid hydration type stuff, get that stuff now. Have your bag packed. You're not going to be able to get it at the show. So like unless you leave the area and go to like a local Target or
I mean,
CVS
like
or
you can't
something.
like they have snack bars there, but like you're not getting like a grocery, or, yeah, grocery granola bar, like
Yeah,
you said.
or like hydration packs. I actually highly suggest the hydration packs. We're going to be bringing some for us. I don't know that Nate will use them or not. I don't know his feeling on those. I will be
I'm
using
a
them.
vegan.
Great, they're vegan. They're totally vegan. There's no animal parts involved in the flavor
My
package.
wife's shampoo is vegan, so I can eat that if I need to.
Nice. How's it taste?
Soapy.
Nice. Um, so yeah, snacks are a very important thing. Um, like I said, if this is your first time like doing this, like
Be gentle.
no, it 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 sounds like I'm way over exaggerating this, but like if you truly do plan on being on the show floor for the entire day, like it's a long day. I understand you're looking at cards, but like it's more physically demanding than people give respect to it.
Yes.
Thousands and thousands of steps. Honestly,
On
like
concrete.
on concrete in a room that is not a crispy 68. It
Yeah, it is not. It's ventilated, but not as well as most people would like.
You're going to be crazy overstimulated, so your brain is not going to be in the same thing. Like you're going to be excited. You're not even going to think about eating, honestly. And by the time you do, it might be to a point where like you're getting lightheaded, and now you have to waste an hour trying to hydrate and catch up on some calories and stuff. So I suggest a good breakfast and some snacks throughout the day and hydrating. I know we'll probably bring a couple cases of water and stuff. And I'm not the biggest water drinker, but at the National, I crush bottles of water just because I know that I can't, we can't afford for me to be in a state where I have to go like sit for an hour or
Yeah.
something.
And with the overstimulation, there is something called loops earplugs, which they're not that expensive, but they're basically earplugs that have adjustable settings so you can let in specific amounts, different decibel levels. I've used them like if I'm walking around the show checking out bargain boxes and stuff like that. I can't really use them if I'm working the booth just because I need to be able to
Mm-hmm.
understand people. But they definitely help cut down on outside noise.
We also have a little bit of a safe space barrier. So like when we're vending, we have our own space. When you're on the show floor, like you're within feet of people at all times. Um, so deodorant, use it. I understand. It's not something you want to like apply in public and stuff. I get it, but get a good application in the morning, and then if you do go to use the restroom or something, maybe it's a thing to have in your backpack to reapply. Um, it sounds so silly, but like the mental side of the interaction and stuff, like you don't want to be the smelly guy making a
No.
first impression with someone. It's not. And the National doesn't.
If your physical presence makes me want to vomit,
Yeah, we're not gonna want to
we're
like,
not going to want to get a deal done.
or we're gonna try to get through the interaction as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And it's not you're not gonna have a meaningful
Yeah.
conversation.
Like maybe we won't even have back and forth with the prices because we're just going to be like, no, it's this price. Take it or leave it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's on the etiquette side is uh, um, the deodorant thing. Have some mints or gum. Once again, you're making first impressions with a lot of people. You don't want to have stinky breath. If you
Listerine strips.
I this is going to be for a minute part of the group. If you're a cigarette smoker, yes, you can smoke outside. It's going to be difficult for you to go on like smoke breaks and stuff, keep going in and out. Because the thing is, you might want to do your smoke break when you're halfway through the show. Now you got to waste, 5-10 minutes on the smoke break, 10 minutes each way. You just wasted a half hour of the day. So
Quit
maybe
smoking.
that's probably not going to happen for these people, but maybe bring pouches, maybe bring your Nicorette gum or whatever. Like it's little planning stuff like that is like I think about stuff like this so hyper focused that I literally am thinking about people who do smoke. Like it's crazy. Like I have
Yeah.
dealer friends who smoke, and I'm like, you guys are taking 8 breaks throughout
No,
the day.
and there's tons of people that will come up to the booth, and it smells like they just ran over a skunk with their backpack,
Oh yeah,
and
there's a
it's
lot of
like, I come on.
parents with young kids. This area is one of the areas that there is a lot of public THC use. There's a lot of vaping, a lot
The
of that kind of stuff.
devil's
Yeah,
lettuce.
I think it's decriminalized completely in Illinois. I've never seen. I mean, I've literally seen people smoking joints next to cops there. So like, I don't think it's a problem for them on the legal side. But if you are a parent and you have a younger kid coming in who doesn't know what that is, you might want to prepare yourself to have that conversation.
It smells like New Jersey.
Yeah, we had Jim. I know you probably don't listen to this. He had the Atlantic City Convention Center. His kids were young. His kids were probably what, like six
Six
and
and
eight,
eight,
something like that. Ron,
6'8",
seven.
6'8".
And his kids were like, "Dad, it smells so bad." And he's like, "Yeah, boys, that's just New Jersey." And then
Or it might have been like specifically like,
Atlantic
oh, that's
City.
Atlantic City,
And then
which is fair.
like when they were home, they went to like a pirate game or something, and there was some guys who were actively smoking on like the sidewalk where they were walking. And they're like, "Dad, it smells like New Jersey here." He's like, "Yeah, I don't know, guys. I guess it's trending this way or something." But that's a weird one that you probably didn't know was going to be in this episode. But you might have to have that talk. The other thing I would say is if you are bringing your kids, be prepared to have specific conversations with your kids because there will definitely be excessive adult language used in this room. Some dealers are just they just let it fly. Me and Nate are probably way more reserved with that just from our training like in the retail store, but
Oh, you want this $100 card for 90 fucking
yeah,
dollars?
that
You out
100%.
of your goddamn mind?
Yeah, that is an exact person probably. That is a
Probably.
New York dealer that is there.
Hey, I'm dealing here. Don't touch
So
me.
yeah, so backpack, get your stuff. I don't have to tell you how to pack your actual clothes. Like, but like I said, from don't do the sleeveless shirt thing in there. I hate you see a guy with no sleeves on and you see his armpit hair and stuff. That's also an etiquette thing. Like this is not like a fancy place, but also like just be like a normal person.
Yeah.
I Another thing to watch out for is you will see there will definitely be people in like mobility scooters and stuff. Don't be a dick. Like if you see them
Yeah.
trying to look at something, get out of their way for a second. I know that we've had conversations with some guys in wheelchairs and stuff previously, and they've had a really hard time like surveying the show floor.
Yeah.
The aisles are tight. Be cognizant of your space, especially like I know that there's this big stigma now, probably more so on the longer tenured dealers who really hate the rolly bag kids. As someone who I own Zion cases that are on wheels. I don't walk around shows with them typically, but I'm also a dealer who has a booth, so like it's a different thing. But if you are bringing a rolly bag, also be very cognizant. Like, don't put it in front of one case and stand next to it.
Yeah.
Put it like in between your legs or something for security.
Straddle.
Security too. You want to be able to touch your bag at all times. You don't want if you have a handheld Zion, don't be setting it down on the floor like
If you
2 feet away
do,
from you.
yeah, if you do, put it between your feet.
Yeah, put it between your feet. Backpacks, I highly suggest having them tight on you.
Yeah.
Have the straps tighter and up higher.
Or like if you know you're gonna be at a booth going through bargain boxes for a while, put it at your feet, like between your legs or something.
Do not put anything of any value in smaller front or side pockets because there are one thing to be considerate of here is this is a show that will have and this is not hyperbole. There will be $1 billion worth of stuff in the room. There will be hundreds of millions of dollars in cash. Professional grade thieves work these types of shows. They come in, they pay for their tickets like everyone else. They look
With
normal.
your money.
Yep, they look normal. They are not dressed in like bandit type outfits with little who's the guy from the Lone Ranger who has like the
Oh,
Toto, not Toto,
not Toto.
the Lone Ranger.
That guy. No,
Doesn't he have a?
it's I.
You know what I'm
It's
talking about.
yes.
But yeah, the people who are going to be stealing here are not the people you think who are. And just like tourist areas, like I know it's really big if you go to like Paris and stuff in Italy, where they pickpocket, they steal stuff. Those front smaller pockets, they are so good. You would never know that they unzipped it and took your cash
Yep.
or extra phone or cards. Keep your in my suggestion, where if I'm carrying a backpack, where my cash goes, when you open up a bag, in between where it touches your back in the biggest pocket, there's typically a really thin section for like a thin laptop or something. Put your cash in there.
Or fanny pack.
Fanny pack. I am a big fanny pack supporter at shows like this. I will be rocking a fanny pack at the show most likely. It is just the easiest thing to have control of. Um, while we're on that note, we talked about it last week. Get your cash in order. If your budget is $1,500, just have $1,500 in cash. There is no one at this show who's going to be turning away cash except for maybe the concession stands. They might be card only. Dealers want cash, guys. They don't want to, and it's not about some tax evasion thing. Most of these dealers are legit dealers who they just don't want the risk of an electronic transaction that can be turned over.
Chargeback.
Yeah.
Fraudulent.
They want cash in hand. They know they're not getting screwed. They know they're not losing 3 or 4% to a processing fee, or like I don't know how Zelle and some of this other stuff works if they have to like pay to transfer money around. But like cash will never be turned down. There's a wide range of budgets. Your budget might be $400. Your budget might be $400,000. I don't know what this is. If your budget's huge, do not expect like I. This does not. This is the top 1%. There will be people at the show who have budgets in the tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars. A lot of those rich people think that people will just like take a wire transfer and stuff. Like, don't expect that. Also, you're probably not listening to our podcast anyway, but it don't.
We're too poor.
Even if your budget's like $5,000, like get the money out now. Don't wait until you're there. There will be. I looked at the map last night. There's actually an ATM within like 15 feet of our booth. There's only like 10 ATMs in the room. One will be specifically near us, but the guys they run out, man.
They run out of money very quickly.
And depending on your bank and stuff, every ATM has limits. And there will be fees. Like there might be like a $10 per $500. I don't know what it is, but there will be a fee. You're losing money just by not being proactive and going to an ATM here or your bank. And when you start talking budgeting, like I said, if you have to pay, you have to run to the ATM 4 times and you're paying $10 every time. That's $40. You could have bought another cool card for that.
Yeah.
Another little one that I notated, which it's not necessarily like a massive deal, but also you might as well be a little ready. I think everyone who is attending the show should have some sort of little supply section, either in their Zion case or in their backpack. Have a few different size top loaders, soft sleeves, bags, because different dealers present stuff in different ways. Some guys will have binders that just have cards soft sleeved, and
Yeah.
it may be a $20 card still, but like that's just how they present their booth. You don't want to have to like put a raw like a just a soft sleeve card in your backpack or something. So like I think everyone should be able to dedicate like an ETB sized section, like a 300 count, 400 count box
Yeah.
worth of a variety of different
Penny sleeves, couple different size top loaders.
Yeah, and some if you want some mags or some team bags or something. Just because most of the time, if there used to be a lot more guys that sold supplies at the National, Anymore, the booth space is so precious and it costs so much money that typically the supply guys can't logistically make enough money bringing them. So there may only be like one or two people selling supplies there, and it's typically not cheap. Also, like if you just buy one card, do you really want to have to buy like a 25 pack of like 130? You
Yeah,
don't want to have to spend $10 on top loads and soft sleeves just to protect one card. Um, Also, some semi rigids just in case, like, okay, let's say you do want to do some drop off service for grading and stuff. Have your own. Don't expect. I think the grading areas probably have some, but like,
they probably run out.
yeah, I would say that that's a quick thing that they run out of.
Yeah.
I know that I talked to someone in the shop yesterday who is attending and they are staying further away. I did warn them that the direct convention center parking lot, I believe it's like 30 or $35 a day. There may be a lot you can park at like half mile or a mile away that would be cheaper and you can just walk. Um, Ubers clearly will be available. Um, Peak hours though, like at the start of the show and the end of the show, I would expect to either pay way too much money um, for it, or like I know at the end of the day, there's always like a sea of people trying to catch an Uber
Yeah.
outside. It is chaos. You might wait an hour, hour and a half.
Yeah.
It
If you're looking to get something to eat after the convention, make reservations somewhere.
Yes, reservations. There are like 10 to 15 restaurants within walking distance of the
Like
show.
you're very rarely are you going to be able to walk directly into one of these restaurants
Mhm.
and get a table.
That's the same with like the hotel restaurants and stuff. They're all packed. Understand there is going to be over the course of the week. The National doesn't really release numbers other than them saying it's an all-time high or whatever. It
Yeah.
will be in the hundreds of thousands of people. Um, we're staying right next to the show, and there is a restaurant in the convention center or in the hotel, but it's packed unless you go there real late night. So yeah, like Nate, like we were saying on the snack situation, plan your food accordingly. There are concession stands in there, and there is an actual like more traditional like cafeteria style thing that you
Yeah.
can go in. But you're buying a shitty burger and fries for like $25
Yeah.
probably.
I mean,
It's
we're big advocates of for the week buy a box of Ziploc bags, buy a loaf of bread, jar of peanut butter, jar of jelly. Just make sandwich. You can do the same thing with lunch meat. Just make sandwiches in your hotel room every morning, and bring them with you.
and we use the mixed peanut butter and jelly one because it's shelf stable.
Also, because it's called a goober.
It's called a goober, and it's what is going on?
Speaking of goobers, we just have a bunch of people clogging up the.
I mean, people just park like idiots.
Oh yeah, I know.
I did not take that sign down that time, and he's
No,
gonna think I did.
I didn't.
The landscapers did, who cut the grass. Anyway, that's a off topic for you guys. But yeah, like I said, preparation. You can't be too prepared for the show. Like you really can't. You'd rather have more stuff than you need in it. It's not like it's gonna add that. It's not like you're adding like a 30 pounds to like a military rucksack or something. Like you're literally adding a couple pounds to your bag. That really may come in handy. The other thing too is there's very little space within the show floor um, to congregate.
Yeah,
Don't just like sit on the ground in the way. Some people will like sit like we've literally had people sit like in the aisles in front of our booth and stuff, and you have to just be like, guys, like
no.
go out to the lobby, go to like the edges, like where there's like you got 30 feet between you and the next booth, and you're up against like one of like the
Go
walls
go
or
to where
something.
like there's. I know the past couple times in Chicago they had like one or two like food trucks in, or just like food carts.
Hmm.
They usually have an open space, maybe some tables around them. Go there.
Yeah. We touched on this last week. about being no,
Conscious,
no, no, no.
considerate.
No, I'm thinking of just like preparation, but like it's time to start figuring out what you want to target because if you don't, talking back to the overwhelm of everything, if you go in with no plan of things you're looking for, what will happen is you'll see stuff you like, you'll buy it, and then you'll come to a booth where you see something, you're like, oh man, this is what I really wanted, and now like that card's $600 and your budget you're down to $200, and like
Yeah.
now you're in scramble mode where like you really want that thing, so now like you're trying to sell stuff off. Maybe you're gonna take bad deals just to get the cash. I wouldn't say like write a book, but you should have a short list.
Yeah. Just some notes.
I would say like most people have certain collecting avenues. Let's say you collect Roberto Clemente and you're doing his entire run. Maybe be like, okay, I need these 6 cards, but I have these 4 I'd like to upgrade if I can get a good deal or something. And prioritize your list where it's like, okay, my number one want is this, but if I can't find this, these are also things I was looking for. And we talked about it um, in consideration of this last week of like maybe the weekend before the show start to do some market research to see where the market of that is. Okay, let's say you are looking for a 1965 Roberto Clemente and you want a mid-grade copy. I would research what mid-grade raw ones sell for, what a PSA 4, 5, and 6 sell for. So you now have information on like 4 different versions of that same card, and you don't have to, one, scramble to try to research it, because as a dealer, I it's not that I don't like people researching stuff in front of
No,
me.
it's just it's about wasting your time.
That, and also if you are researching stuff in front of someone, like I know where my brain goes. My brain immediately goes, this is someone trying to buy something to flip.
Yeah.
Even if it is a PC thing, the dealer may get the idea of like, I before I even talk to this person, I'm going to give them less of a deal because I feel that they may have an intention to flip this thing, and like maybe it's a $225 card that they have marked at 250, and instead of telling you 220, they might tell you 235, and you're actually costing yourself money by kind of looking like maybe you're trying to get one over. And I know that most
Yeah.
people aren't, but like it is something. If you have a much more quick research tool where you look up, and Nate talked about it last week, and it's like, okay, I don't know, PSA 5 goes between 220 and 240, and they have it marked at 240, and you're like, okay, I'll pop on it. Or if they have it marked at 300, you can just pass and go to the next
Yeah.
card. And it doesn't take this whole researching thing, which we touched on it before about internet
Yeah.
connection.
You might not even be able to research it in that moment.
The other thing, too, is, I mean, there is technically Wi-Fi, but it's going to be a public space Wi-Fi that you are. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to scare you,
It's going to
but
be very
I was gonna say security wise, you're
security
also
wise, and it's just congested.
yeah, and it's the national probably spends a bunch of money getting extra bandwidth and stuff, but like once again, you can only prepare so much for tens of thousands of people. And you're not going to know every card. You might see a card but you truly have no idea. Make a note of it, and you can like walk away, try to do some research, come back to it, which Nate has said before. If they have a business card, maybe take a picture of their business card in front of their booth.
Or you can even ask them behind the booth, "Hey, can you hold that up for me?" and just get like the general surroundings around them in the photo, so you can see like, okay, this is the card that I wanted to go back and find. Oh, it's at a booth. They have a yellow backdrop, and there's the guy that was working the booth today is wearing a red polo.
The show floor is very easy to navigate whenever you. It's just a grid system.
Yes.
There will be aisles. They will list like numerous. I don't know what it is. Like every 50 feet up in the rafters, will have like aisle 100, aisle 3200. So we are booths number 3211 and 3213. We are right at the corner of aisle 3200, I think. We'll probably be right below like a sign. So I know that that's what I do for parking. I'll look to be like, okay, we're like next to
Yeah.
the A9 sign or whatever. So you can make a note in your phone, like, okay, the booth I'm looking for, they have the SCJ backdrop, and they're by the 3200 aisle sign. But like I said, it's like New York City. It's a grid system. It's not the most. It's a grid system, but there are like technically three rooms. They just all flow into each
Yeah.
other. And there's a couple weird spots in the room where like you can kind
Like
of forget.
Staten Island.
Yeah, our we used to love. We had a specific area we loved. It was right by like the one concession stand and bathrooms, and it was like this weird little alcove
Yeah.
like situation where we enjoyed it because customers would kind of get like herded into it, and it would stay busy right there. It was hard to like
Plus, we
walk
were next to
past.
concessions, the bathrooms, and it was easy for us to load in and out.
So I would say come find us if you're listening and you're coming to the National. Come find us. Like I said, booths 3211, 3213. We are, if you're in the lobby and you just walked into the convention center, straight ahead is the information booths where all of the national staff is at. If you're picking up your tickets, if you are looking for a map, or if you're looking for just general information, they're all out
General
there.
information.
To the left is the main entrance. That is like the big room, and that's where the show started. That is where like the first nationals in this venue. It was just that room. We were in those rooms. It was a third of the size it is now. That room, historically speaking, is going to be more so corporate auction houses, vintage memorabilia, old school dealer stuff. As you work towards the middle of that room, that is where you're going to have like the Tops Panini upper deck type stuff. There is a little ramp that goes into another room to your once you're in that room. That's going to be a lot more modern dealers. I think that's where PSA is. That's where like their big
I think
thing
so.
is. That room moves into a third room. That third room is where Sports Car Junction is. That specific room, I would say, is heavier on modern than it is vintage. We specifically are right by Bo Jackson's Battle Arena, is it CSG or CGC?
CGC.
CGC, and I believe Zion Cases are near us too, in like Arena Club or something. So we specifically, across the aisle from our booth, is Bo Jackson's Battle Arena. It will be a very large display, lots of noise, lots of sounds, lots of Bo Jacksons. So that's come find us, because if you do have questions in the moment, as long as Nate or myself is not actively doing something with another collector, and you want to pick our brain, you're more than welcome. No, I cannot run comps on 10 cards for you in the moment.
Yeah.
But if you're like, hey, I'm trying to work a deal with this guy. Like, do you know this guy? Like, should I buy? Like, I want your opinion. Should I go after this
Yeah.
card? We can give you a quick yes or no. Also, if you are having trouble finding certain things, we may be oriented enough with the room that we can point you in the right direction.
And another note for where we are. So if you enter the main lobby, like Chad said, if you're looking forward, you'll be seeing the information booths. The main entrance is to your left. If it's later in the day, if you go to your right, those doors will also be open to the third room. That's where we are. So if
Yeah.
you're looking for us specifically, walk into the lobby and go to the right set of doors.
Yeah, you go to the right, and then from there you make kind of like another right, and then we should be in your view. Like once you go into the right doors, and there's like a little like it's like a horseshoe shape. If you go through the horseshoe, you'll probably be able to see Bo Jackson's Battle Arena at that point. We're just on the other side of it. But like I said, if you are looking for a lot of modern cards, you're probably going to be looking, if you just line the three. If the national is Neapolitan ice cream, you're going to skip the strawberry and you're going to come to the vanilla and chocolate. And that's going to be the middle room and the other room are going to be 90% of the modern probably in the show. Um, if you are looking to do some of the interactive experiences at Tops, Panini, Upper Deck, Leaf, Fanatics, all this stuff, I would pay attention to all of their direct communications on social media because they do specific time slots for
Yeah,
stuff.
and they're
Like,
very good about letting you know what is going on exactly when.
and there are freebie chances and stuff, but it might be like, okay, show floor opens up at 9:30. At 10 o'clock, you can start getting in line at Tops. At 10:30, the first 100 people in line are going to get X. That is definitely something to pay attention to if you care about that stuff. If you are just a true collector, I don't think it's needed. But if you are going with kids or something, kids get hooked up, man. If you are going with kids, stop by like every auction house, every company. They always have freebie little stuff for the kids.
Shirts, hats,
Stickers,
stress
keychains.
balls.
Yeah. I know ComC does stuff.
Eh.
I know Nate's still on that train. It's if you don't have a case and you are looking to get a case, Zion will be set up. They'll have their entire fleet of items ranging from backpacks to bigger cases. Um, yeah, that's to the comp thing. Um, if you are more of like a baller on a budget, I would say first off, the sooner you can get to the show, the better. Like, if you're already planning on going Saturday, Sunday, it's in the works, obviously. Most of you have already had to make reservations and stuff. The first full day is Thursday. If you are looking to find those little hidden gems, hit bargain boxes first. Don't
Yeah.
even look in display cases. Go to the bargain boxes, dig those, because by the time you get to that like midday Saturday into Sunday, most of the good deals are probably out of those. You could still find cards you want to buy for the price they are, but if you're looking to, find some $10 and $15 cards for a buck or two, like they will be, trust me, they are
Yeah.
gone through. You will notice that a lot of dealers take a lot of pride in their presentation and display. Show some respect for that. I know I am working countless hours right now. I'm at the store for the hours, and then I'm at home for many, many hours getting our stuff prepped. Every single card we bring will be in nice, clean supplies, organized. When we do our bargain boxes, they will be super clean and everything will be very nicely presented. A lot of other dealers put a lot of effort into this too. Try your best to keep it how they had it. Um, if a card is in a team bag or a graded bag or something, ask the dealer's permission before you take it out. I know we're going to be doing raw vintage. There are guys who would just start pulling cards out of card savers and stuff, but without
Yeah.
asking you, and then they jam it back in there. And like I'm very OCD with my supplies.
Hmm.
I have people will take a card out of a bag and put it back in upside down and stuff, and
Yep.
now I want to redo it. And now,
Or they hand you. They're like, "Oh, can I take this out of the bag to look at it?" Okay, sure. And then they just give you the card back on top of the bag, and it's like, "You fucking do it."
yeah, and once again, I'm not even gonna say 9 out of 10 times. I'll say 99 out of 100 times. I won't say anything. I want to most of the time, but just respect that kind of stuff. Um, we talked about it before. If you are doing like bargain box digging and stuff, don't do it over the display cases.
Yeah.
Keep it in the area it's supposed to be. If you are traveling with a group of friends, we've had this before where 4 people come up to our booth and only one is looking, but all 4 are in the way. Tell your group you're with, like, hey, like, let me just look at this stuff. Don't like be
Break up with your friends.
yes. It actually happens way too often where we're working a deal with one guy, but there's 5 of them there, and it's like, guys, you're taking up 4 display cases.
That's
No
my
one can look
that's
at
my
this stuff.
crew.
Yeah, it's very annoying. Um, most dealers will have. I would say 9 out of 10 dealers have signage for who they are. So like as Nate we were saying before, to locate guys, take a picture of logos. Most people have professional logos at this point, and the people who don't are probably older school guys that you're probably not dealing with anyway. Um, I don't know if Nate has any other notes.
Um, there's always a ton of different trade nights that happen there.
Yeah, I had that.
Um, like there's usually like one really, really, really big one, and then almost every single night, any of the hotels near the convention center, their lobbies are full of little miniature trade nights.
And that is another etiquette one too. If you are attending some of these trade nights, um, and it is in like a hotel lobby, don't be a jerk. Like there are going to be other resident people at these hotels that are not part of this that are incredibly annoyed that this is going on. Do your best to just not annoy them and have staff be involved. I know hotel staff has had to get involved with some of this stuff. As we mentioned, watching your bag in case at the show, it is just important to watch your stuff at a trade night.
Even easier for it to walk away.
And there's typically not cameras in these sections because these are not professionally run areas. I'm sure the National even has some disclaimer upon entering saying we are not responsible for your property. We've talked about this with our trade nights here. Don't be the guy who takes over half a table displaying all your cards because honestly, stuff's going to get stolen. It's going to, and also it's just a dick move to like
Yeah.
take up that much space. We are part of the main event, which is the wrestling trade night. I believe it's Saturday. It might be two
We'll
nights.
post more
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, it might be two nights. If you want to know more about that, you can follow WWE Gelman on Instagram. He is the El Presidente of our little organization. I am on the board of it. I help with facilitating, advertising, promotion, all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure we're giving away 15 to $20,000 of the stuff. Something crazy. We're one of the sponsors of the event. I know what each sponsor is paying, so
Yeah.
there's some of that money's going towards renting the room and food and all that kind of stuff too. But there's a lot of stuff getting given away. There are, like Nate said, almost every hotel is going to have some sort of a trade night. I would say when the show is over, though, get the hell off the show floor. They literally can't close down the room until everyone's out of there. The longer it takes for the customers to get off the floor, the longer it takes for the dealers to close up, the longer it takes for everyone. And trust me, at the end of the day, the national people are pretty done with it. So you do not want to linger.
No.
I'm trying to think if there's some other etiquette stuff. We've touched base
There,
before on it.
of course, more of a modern issue. There's a lot of content creators that will be around. Um, just, I mean, my gut wants to say like, if a content creator asks you to move because they're trying to film something, don't
No.
stand right there. Like if you're already doing something,
Yeah.
just stay where you are.
Yeah. No.
If you are making content, just be courteous of other people. This is not about you.
And like Nate was saying, like if you are actively already at a booth and stuff, or you're just walking, just do what you're doing. Now, if there's like a little side aisle and you can clearly tell they're doing like some professional interview and the camera is 6 feet away from the two people talking, if you can walk around it,
Yeah,
don't walk
maybe
through the
don't go
shot.
to those bargain boxes at that exact moment.
End of the day, I have little tolerance for a lot of the creators. We are friends with some, and honestly, they're typically not ones who are
No.
like doing stuff that's annoying.
I think it was like 2 years ago, maybe. The entire long side of our booth, that whole aisle got shut down for like 10 to 15 minutes because a certain individual was filming content with the booth across the aisle.
Yeah, it's annoying. I know I couldn't walk down the one aisle in Cleveland the one year because Ken Golden was at their booth, and they, for security purposes, they weren't letting you use the one aisle or something. And I'm like, okay,
To be fair, I don't want to be near Ken Golden.
yeah, I'd prefer not to be. But so yeah, like that is something. Obviously, just like any other public space, you could end up on camera. I would say go in also like with meta glasses and all this other stuff. I know we're gonna have a talk with my dad like 30 times. Assume every conversation you're having with someone could be being filmed. So
Yeah.
like
Or even just recorded audio wise.
end of the day, like if you're not a piece of crap, like you shouldn't have anything to worry about. But at the same time, dude, people cut stuff out of context all the time, and like you don't want to get in the mix of that. I know Nate had a frustrating interaction like 4 years ago with a content creator. He was just a prick. I mean, if you are doing some content, whether it's like part time for fun for your own YouTube channel or your own Instagram, or you are monetizing it, go into it trying to make everyone comfortable. Like,
And ask them.
yes, like if you do want to film or whatever, say like, hey, do you guys mind if I highlight your booth or whatever? Go for it. Like, we are friends with Coach Co now. Our first interaction with him was at the National last year. Nate did like a little 5 minute video with him, and he's very like courteous about it.
Courteous, professional.
Like I would like to do something with you. Are you interested? Whatever, whatever. We're friends with Jay at Mojo, which he is now with Fanatics
Yes.
and there's like it's King of Cards, Jay, Costa, a few other people who are doing a variety of shows now. Um, Understand like while there are a lot of asshole content creators out there, there's a lot of good ones too. Like there's guys who are like truly nice, and I have never interacted with King of Cards. I have people that I respect that say he's great. So I can't say he's not. I know we're friends with Card Collector too. He gets shit on more than anyone I see in these groups. And like, if you really know Ryan, you're like, he is not a bad guy.
Yeah.
He he has some of these guys got to remember like they have to hit a certain demographic. They have to film very specific certain things. People call these guys out as like hype beasts and all this stuff. Understand, like they are truly just documenting the hobby, and they are part of the reason why the hobby is as big as it is. So you can't just say screw them all. But back to the original point, don't feel like you have to do anything because a content person told you to like do something. Like you have just as right to be looking at certain cards as they do. There's not like a
Yeah.
ticket that
Like
they
they are
purchased.
not filing. It's not like, oh, I'm messing them up because they spent all this money on like a filming permit or something. No, that doesn't exist.
Yeah, like they didn't have a reservation with this dealer to like do something. And if the dealer did say something, it's like, listen, guys, like the dealer has the right to let them do something, but like you're still in a public space. You can look at their stuff. They can't say don't look at my cards. One of my final notes, as we are running a little bit longer than normal, is while you are going to the national and you are probably within your own budgetary things, trying to make the show financially worth it for you, like you want to get your money's worth, understand, balance part of this experience as an experience. Like look at the national also, like part of your cost of being there is just enjoying it.
Yeah. And entertainment.
It is an entertainment factor. Like don't say like, okay, it cost me $1,000 for hotel and travel, and I was only able to buy $200 for the cards that are worth $250. So I lost $950.
Yeah.
I wouldn't look at it that way. Keep your card purchases and stuff separate from the actual cost of being there. Don't be afraid to just talk to a dealer. Like you don't have to go into every interaction as a monetary thing. Like you can just have a really cool conversation with
Yeah.
someone.
You
Me
can
and
just be
Nate.
like, okay, this guy has some really cool vintage boxing cards or something. I don't collect them, but like, oh, they're really cool. I didn't know so and so had one, and just
I
naturally talk to people.
I know me and Nate probably have had many of our most enjoyable like hobby conversations at the national. But especially if a dealer doesn't have like a bunch of people around their booth and you truly just appreciate what they have, tell them. Like a lot of people, like there are more people than you think that collect and vend. Like it is not like 90% of this room is there just to make money. Like I'm a collector. I love to talk about cards. But if I have 15 people there, I probably am looking more on the transactional side of things versus whenever it's a little bit slower, I am like, yeah, dude, tell me my
Yeah,
cards are cool. It
and
feels
like
great.
this is the only time of year where we see like specific friends of ours, and like we'll have people stop by the booth every year that never buy anything from us.
Oh, we have, dude. There are tons of people that we have probably never sold a card to that we still just like enjoy their presence.
Yeah,
You could make a lifelong friend at a show like this, and you and that person never buy or sell a card off each other. I mean, there's people at this show that I'm not even interested in what they're selling, but we have the same core interest of cards. Like, I am not really in like the high end basketball market, but I have many friends who are, and it's like, yeah, they're buying these stupid, silly, like casually spending 100K on a card, and we have nothing in common on like what we're buying. But at the core, we're still just having fun chasing cards. And like I said, just enjoy it as much as you can. Make some friends, and try to be as good of a person as you can. Like I said, it's you're interacting with a lot of different people, a lot of different backgrounds and feelings. You don't want to come off in a way where this person doesn't want to interact with you and you shrink your circle. There are still dealers to this day that I've heard are good guys that my personal experience with them has shut me off from wanting to do anything
yeah,
with them. But also, don't be afraid to take pictures. Maybe if it's not like auction houses and stuff, take whatever pictures you want at any time. Dealers, if you want to video or take pictures of certain stuff, ask.
yeah.
Like I know certain dealers, like especially with like little kids, like there will be a dealer who has like a really crazy card, and like you would think it'd be really cool for like your kid to get a picture with that card or
Yeah,
something.
like the kid's never seen a Lou Gehrig relic card or something, and
Yeah,
you're huge Yankee fans.
don't be like, hey, can I see this card, and immediately give it to your kid and take his picture. Be like, hey, like I think this card is really cool. I would like to
Make out with
show,
it.
yeah, I would like to show like show mom back home or friends that
Yeah.
like he got to hold this piece of history that's worth
Or
a
like,
hundred thousand
oh,
dollars.
my buddy back home is a big fan of, whoever that player is, and he would love seeing it.
Yeah, and I know we've done this previously, and other people already know to do it. If you are looking for a little bit of a home base, and you are a sports card junction fan, customer, whatever, do not be afraid to decompress at our booth. If you buy something that you don't maybe want to hold on to and it's not crazy bulky or something, we can probably do that for you too. Like let's say you are a collector who's buying some significant stuff and you're like, hey, I want to keep walking the show floor, but I don't want this on me. We can probably facilitate holding it for you. But that's about it. Like I said, the biggest notes are cash, have fun, know your cards, and
Be a decent human being.
be a decent human being. And it is not nationals.
Enjoy yourself, or else.